Good morning. Welcome to Workforce Skills with John Morse. We're here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's another Monday morning. What a crazy morning it's been. I think, like I said last time, I think every day's a Monday anymore. We never know what's going to happen. Got to get up, got to get ready for work, got to leave early, got to prepare ourselves. You know, the interesting thing is, as I go through my day-to-day work activities and I'm dealing with the different situations in the office, you never know what you're going to get hit with. You never know what obstacles are going to be thrown at you, and you have to be prepared for everything. So how am I going to prepare myself? You know, it's interesting how some people can deal with the different obstacles being thrown at them and other people crumble under pressure. Are you the type of person that's going to crumble under that pressure? Are you the person that's going to excel and stand out taller and stronger than everybody else around you? Not everybody can do it. You know, you hear the saying, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. You know, it's owning a business like what I do. If it was easy, everyone would do it. It's not easy. I lose sleep over this. There's nights I get zero sleep because I'm worried about work. I'm stressed over money. I'm stressed over payroll. It's a huge nut that I got to cover payroll for 100 employees. That's a lot to worry about every single week. Paydays every Friday. I got to make sure every employee has a paycheck every Friday. So how do we deal with the stress? How do we handle that? How do we internalize it? You know, over the years, I think it's affected me physically, you know, high blood pressure. I'm on blood pressure pills, different medications because of this. I get these, they call them cluster migraines, where I get blurry vision, and it's called a cluster migraine is all I can figure out. And I got pills for that now, and it's all stress related. You know, the way to handle stress in the workplace is very difficult, and it doesn't matter what level you're on, whether you're the helper in the field starting a brand new job, it can be stressful. You know, last week we just wrapped up our latest class, and I hired 4 people out of our last class. 3 of them start today. 1 of them starts tomorrow. One of them today is actually starting on our night crew this evening. They're working from 4 to 12:30 tonight. And so these are 4 brand new people that went through our class. They've never painted before except what we taught them in a class, and now their training is going to continue. And I can only imagine the fear of unknowing of what they're going to have out there. You know, the one thing we've changed over the last 2 classes is we actually take our students out on a real job site to train them. And so we get them out there, we have them work with some of the other crews, and they each get to go out there on a crew for about 2 hours. And it's been very, very huge in their success for them to understand what they're dealing with out there and how to handle the workplace. It's one thing to teach someone how to paint and how to work in a controlled environment in a classroom, and we're just painting walls. And these classroom walls we'll paint them 1,000 times if we have to, just to teach the basics of painting. But to get out there and explain to them that when you get on a job site, it's going to be 1,000 times faster. How do you get someone to understand that and grasp that unless you actually get them out there and show them? So to prepare them to be the most successful, we decided to get them out there, try this before they finish the class so they can see if this is really something they want to do or not. So we hired 4 out of the class, probably the best 4 out of that class. And I'm excited to see what they're going to do and how they're going to exceed at this. But the stress level that they have with this is a brand new job, a brand new career. How do we deal with it? Whether it's that or whether it's the next level up and you're the lead painter on a crew and you now are in charge of a couple guys on your crew and making sure everything gets done. You know, the stress level of that the superintendent's coming to you and contacting you and telling you what needs done, what you're not doing, where the paint goes, and then you have to relay that to the guys under you. The superintendent, the stress level he has. I would say in our business, the superintendent has the most stressful position in our company. They not only have to oversee multiple jobs, but they have to make sure that every job is running smoothly, every job is profitable. They have to deal with the personalities, the attitudes of the painters, the field lead guys. They got to deal with the general contractors, superintendents on the job sites. They have to deal with our office. They have to deal with making sure paint gets out there. There's so much that they have on their plate. It is probably the toughest position, but if you can make it through a superintendent position, that's what you have to do to get to the next level. Those that survive the superintendent position If you can handle that, I'm telling you right now, you can handle anything in this business. If you can be a superintendent in our company, in this business, you can do anything in this business. You will have the skill set, you'll have the knowledge, you have the drive, you will learn how to deal with so many things. You are multitasking every second of the day. But how do you deal with that stress? What do you do when you get off work? How are you going to handle that? Estimators. Today, our estimators have a very light day in the estimating department. Tomorrow, they have twice the amount that they had any day on the last 3 weeks. So today, knowing there's a light day, they're spreading it out and they're taking some of tomorrow's bids and they're including it into today's. So it evens it out and levels it out. That's how they're handling with some of the stress of dealing with all the estimates that have to go out. They won't send them out till tomorrow, till the due date, but they're at least going to have everything prepped, ready. They're going to have everything printed out. They're going to have all the estimates written up, just have to put the date on it and email it tomorrow. So that's how they're handling it. But what about in our own personal lives as we've worked all week or we've dealt with the situation all week? How do we deal with this? How do we turn on and off when we are going from work to home, from home to work? We don't want to bring our home issues into the office place or into the job site. We don't want to bring our work issues home into our home life around our kids and our wives and other significant others. So how do you deal with this? What do you do to release the stress? You know, some people drink, not a fan of that. I'm an addict. I'm recovered. And it's interesting as we deal with the different people in our classes, the amount of addiction that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis and the amount of people that we deal with that come from an addictive personality or addiction in their lives or their families. It's amazing how many guys have come out of prison or off the streets or have been homeless that we get back on the right track and get them back to where they need to be and being a working, successful member of society and the addiction that's in their past. So we talk about it all the time. We deal with it all the time. I quit drinking years ago. I quit for about 8-9 years. And back then I say I quit drinking, and I did quit. But I also believe that when you quit something, you can always start it up again. Or when you start something, you can also quit it. So I ended up starting to drink again, and I realized that one drink leads to another, and I cannot continue. To the point where I was drinking way too much. I became a functioning alcoholic. So with my personality, once I decided that I needed to quit, I actually got myself some help, put myself in a treatment place, and got myself sobered up. And I realized at that point moving forward that I'm not quitting what I'm doing. I'm accepting the fact that it's no longer part of who I am. It's not part of my life and never will be. It's no different than look at someone who plays golf and someone who doesn't. Someone who plays golf can play golf every single week of the year, or they play it all the time, or somebody that doesn't play golf probably will never play golf in their whole life. You either do or you don't. So that's how I look at my situation with drinking or my addiction. It's turned off. It's never going to turn back on. It's just not who I am, never will be. We talk about this in a lot of our classes, and we got to deal with this because when people get stressed, what is their tendency to do? Go back to what makes them comfortable. Go back to what makes them get rid of the pain or not feel anything. That's not what we need to do. We need to deal with what's in front of us. We need to talk about what's in front of us. So how do we deal with the stress of everyday work, of everyday life? If I'm having a problem at work and really stressed and I need to talk about it, I have a tendency to bottle myself up. I don't like talking about my problems and my issues. I try not to bring these issues home to my wife. I don't want her to hear these. But the reality of it is I do need to talk about it. I need to be more open with her. I need to share my struggles or my issues at work so she can give me her thoughts and her insight. Doesn't mean I have to agree with everything she thinks or says. We all have different personalities. We all have different of opinions, but if she's sitting there listening to me, maybe that's all I need. Maybe I just need someone to listen to me vent to get it out. Maybe that's how we get rid of some of our stress of what we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Other people do sports or go running or go to the gym, read a book. You have to find something that's going to help you get through the stress of everyday day-to-day life, of the day-to-day issues in the workplace. So dealing with these workplace issues, you can't take it out on your coworkers. You're going to spend more time with your coworkers than you do your family sometimes. We have a tendency to hurt the people that are closest to us. We have a tendency to say the meanest things to the people we love the most without meaning to. And it's just because we're the most comfortable around them. We're the most open around them. And I think deep inside, we know that they're going to be there for us and they're not going to leave us and they're going to stick it out with us. But at the same time, we have to respect them. So knowing that, I deal with a lot of stress at work, in the workplace. We'll have meetings and everybody gets together. Last week, I walked in the estimating department, and I know they were having a very stressful week last week, and there was a few issues. And one of the guys was so stressed that he left work early that day, went home. He just said, I had to get out of here or I was going to blow my top. I was probably going to yell at somebody. I just needed to get out. And sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to do what's best to protect you and protect those around you. But the next morning after that, I walked back there in the estimating department, and Greg was in there, who works for me. He's also part owner of the company. And he goes, John, we're just sitting here talking about what we're grateful for. What are 3 things you're grateful for? And man, I had to stop for a minute. I thought, this is a great thing. And so I sat there and I mentioned the 3 things I'm grateful for at that moment. And those things might change day to day. But after that, and listening to what everybody else had to say, I felt better about myself. I felt better about the day. And it was amazing how the day changed for everybody after doing that. Just talking about the things we're grateful for. We can think about it. We can go over it in our heads. But to actually talk about it and verbalize it with the people around us, it validates what you're talking about. It confirms what you're thinking. And it lets everybody else around you know what you're grateful for and what you're thinking. And it creates an appreciation for each other as you do this. It's amazing how, some of the guys in there were talking about how they're grateful for their coworkers in that room. And you could see everybody just smile and get along so much better that day. The day was stressful, but it made it so much easier to get through the day with everything that we had to deal with. So what are you doing through the day with your job situation where you're at? You might think, I can't deal with this. I can't talk to the people around me. I don't want them to see me as a sign of weakness that I'm struggling, but that's not the case. There's nothing I hate worse than someone comes in, I'm a man, I got to deal with it on my own. No, we are a team. We are a family. We have to work together. We have to find a way to help each other out. I'm a firm believer that I'm only as strong as my weakest link. So who is my weakest employee? Who is my weakest estimator, my weakest superintendent? How do we help them? How do we help them get better? How do we work with them? How do we help them get to the next level? Because what kind of stress are they going through? Maybe they know that they're the weakest link out there and they're struggling with it and they don't know what to do. They need somebody to talk to, but they don't know how to come to you for help or how to ask you to help them through a situation because they don't want you to see it as a sign of weakness. It doesn't matter whether you own the company or you're an employee of the company. If you see someone struggling, let's help them. Let's help them through a stressful situation. Let's help them get over this hurdle or the struggle that they're dealing with. Life isn't easy. You're going to get smacked around every second of the day sometimes. There are speed bumps out there that you have to find a way to handle those bumps. It amazes me all the struggles I've been through in my life and all the issues I've dealt with. Between divorce and between losing my son, him passing away at the age of 18 and raising my daughter by myself and what I've gone through and running my business and knowing that I have to make sure every employee that works for me has a paycheck every Friday. This is stressful. It's a struggle, but I don't do it on my own. I have a whole team that helps me. I have a whole team that works with me. My wife is part of my team. She's my support system. Everybody that works for me has a purpose. Everybody that works for me knows that they can lean on me and I can lean on them. And that's how we have to look at our situation. No one is in this by themselves. We can't be. Once you realize that you're not alone, oh my goodness, everything's going to change for you. You have to accept the fact that you're not alone. You're in this together as a team. Who's going to sit there and be by your side? Who's going to be by my side when I need help? Who's going to be by my side when I'm struggling or they see me stressed? Because I try not to show it in the workplace. Being at the top of the company, there's certain people there of us that we can't show signs of weakness. We have to show that we're in control all the time, because people will feed off that weakness and then they will get scared or they'll start stressing, and we don't want that to happen. So we have a core group of people within the office that when we get stressed, we go to those people, we sit down behind closed doors, we talk about our problems. Sometimes it's as a group, sometimes it's one-on-one. It just depends on the situation, how we're going to deal with it at that moment. So as we're dealing with these situations, how am I going to deal with it so it doesn't feed off to other people? Negativity feeds off negativity. People see you stressed, they're going to start to get stressed. If they see you're in control, they're going to feel in control. If you're happy, that can be contagious. I've seen people start laughing, and other people, not even knowing what you're laughing about, will start laughing with you because it's funny. It's contagious. So same with positive attitudes, same with not showing stress, showing confidence. That can be contagious too. So as we deal with this and we find ways to deal with it, people will feed off of this. As I show that I'm stressed and I'm human, and the people I'm working with are my confidants that I can sit and talk about it and help me get through this, now they know that they can come to me with struggles and problems. The biggest thing is when we get off work and we go home, how are we dealing with the stress then? You're not around the people that see the stress that you're dealing with. You're around the people that are going to see the after effect of the stress. You can't go home and just drink yourself out of depression or out of the stress. You can't use. You've got to find a way to cope. Everybody copes with things differently. You have to find what works best for you. Whether it's going to the gym, whether it's going for a run, going for a swim in a pool. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's calling a friend. Talk to your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, anybody. Talk to somebody. Get it out. Find a men's group to join. You have to find ways to keep yourself busy and preoccupied. The way I look at it with me is, if I'm not working, if I have nothing to do around the house, I'm sitting there with my wife, sometimes all we do is just sit there on the sofa and watch TV. We'll catch a couple of our shows. We'll catch up. We watch everything. We stream everything online. We don't even watch cable TV or live TV. Everything's pre-recorded. So we'll have times where we just sit there and catch up on our shows and watch what we want to watch, and just being together, just sitting there in each other's company is what helps me. And I need that. And I've got our 2 little dogs. That helps me. They're a little needy sometimes, but this is what I do to deal with the stress. Today when I get off work, the plan is me and my wife are going to the gym together. We're going to go work out for 45 minutes. After that, we're going to the pool. We're going to hang out in the pool and go swim for about 30 to 45 minutes. That is a way to relieve stress. That's what you have to do. You find these things to relieve the stress. Find activities to do. Find things that are going to make you comfortable. Maybe it's going to church. Maybe it's talking to your pastor. You have to find something positive, because stress can lead to negative issues. I know the stress in my life has led to high blood pressure, other issues that I've had, and it's been difficult to deal with. So now that I'm older, wiser hopefully, I start looking at these things. Man, I wish I would have dealt with it sooner. I wish I would have dealt with it when I was younger. My eating habits have changed. I used to be a stress eater. Eating food made me comfortable. Boy, did I get overweight. 2.5 years ago, I was 315 pounds. Today, I'm 233. It took me at a certain point in my life of enough stress and enough health issues to realize I needed to change. And it's difficult as we get older. So if we can learn to deal with these things at a younger age, how much better off will we be as we get older? I want to be there for my grandkids. My grandson turns 1 year old this week. I'm going to his birthday party on Saturday. I'm going to be able to be there for my grandson. I want to be there for many, many years and watch him grow up. That is the goal in life. The goal in life is to spend it with the people we love and treat them the way they should be treated. But if you're stressed all the time, if you're having these issues, you're not going to be able to do that. So what are you going to do to help your stress levels? Even at work, and I always reference painting because that's what I know. These 4 brand new people that are starting with me between today and tomorrow, the stress for them is cutting in a straight line as they're brushing in along the ceiling line. That's going to be stressful. They're going to be nervous. People are going to be watching them. That's going to make them more nervous. How do they find ways to deal with that? The nice thing is I've already worked with them in a class, and I've stood there and watched them, and I've talked them through all this, trying to prepare them for what they're going to deal with out there on a real job site. Taking them to a real job site has helped them prepare themselves for what they're going to be doing. Find yourself a mentor. You know, it's amazing how many guys that work for me and gals that work for me are that I'm a mentor to. You don't have to ask me to be a mentor. Just ask me questions. Talk to me. When you need help, just ask. Just call me up and talk to me. Hey, John, I'm dealing with this. What would you recommend? What would you do? There's going to be times you're not going to like what you hear because it's not what you want, but it's what you need. And you might not realize it at that moment, but in time, you're going to realize that you needed it. Now, I'm not going to say I always have the right thing to say. I'm going to tell you the best information that I have at that moment for what I know. And as time goes on, that information might change because I've learned and I've gotten better at what we do or what I've learned through life. We're constantly growing as humans. We're constantly growing in our business, no matter what you're doing, whether it's painting, whether it's carpentry, whether it's auto mechanics, you're constantly learning what you're doing and you're getting better every single day. So as you get better, your ways change, your ideas change, the stress levels start to change. Things are easier to deal with. The better you become at something, the better you handle a situation, the better you are with dealing with stress, or the stress isn't there where it used to be before. Now you've created new levels of stress, new things that stress you out. How are you going to deal with those? Well, you've been training yourself with things already. So now as stressful things come up, it's easier to deal with. The one thing we do is in our company, our superintendents, when they're struggling, we'll go on a ride along. Today, one of our superintendents is struggling, and Greg's out there doing a ride along with one of our superintendents. He's helping him. He's giving him direction. It's constructive criticism. It's not there to make him feel bad. It's there to make him better. It's for Greg to go out there and show him, here's how I deal with these situations. Watch and learn from me. I've done that with my superintendents. We go out and I go, I want you to just watch what I do, how I look at things, how I talk to people. Just observe. Be a fly on the wall and pay attention. That's all you got to do. Watch how we're dealing with these. And as times have gone on with these situations, it's amazing how many guys afterwards say, oh my goodness, I learned a new way to deal with this. I didn't realize I was doing it this way. I watched you and it looks so much easier and so much smoother. But the difference too is I've been doing this a lot longer than some of these guys. So I have more experience at it. As time goes on, your experience level changes. You're going to have more experience to be able to handle the situations than you did 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You're going to get better at what you do. The interesting thing is when I hire a painter and I've got a guy with 5 years experience and a guy with 20 years experience, it's interesting how sometimes the guy with 5 years experience is a better painter than the guy with 20 years experience. So where's the reality of that as time goes on, you get better? I think you have to want to get better. The guy with 20 years, does he really want to get better or is he just coasting by? Where's he at in his life? How's he deal with different situations? How's he deal with stress? What's different with this guy with 5 years experience? Why is he so much better? So as we analyze this and we look at it, sometimes it comes down to how you deal with stress. The way you deal with stress will affect the way you work. It'll affect your performance at work. It affects how you handle a situation. The reason this guy might not be that good with 20 years experience is he doesn't deal with stress very well. So he's not the best painter. He just walks away from situations. The guy with 5 years experience embraces the stress. He embraces the struggles with work, and he's constantly trying to better himself. He's trying to do the difficult things. When it comes to painting, maybe he's better at brushing than he is with rolling or vice versa. He's going to do the things that are difficult, where this guy over here takes the easy way out every time. So when he does have to do the hard things, it's 10 times as harder for him because he hasn't focused on it. He's not worried about that. He's always taken the easy way out. Do not take the easy way out. That's human nature to go the easy route. As humans, we've trained ourselves to take the easy way out, take the simple path. The goal is to take the difficult road. The difficult road, the one less traveled, is the most rewarding in the end. I guarantee you every time that path, that difficult road that you're going down, at the end of that road will be the biggest reward. You will accomplish more. You'll be more proud of yourself. People around you will recognize you. That's what makes the difference with guys advancing within our company. That's what makes a difference with people that are advancing in other companies. It's interesting, guys that tell me, well, John, I always get overlooked in the business. No one's, I've been here 20 years. This guy's been here 5 years and they promoted him. What are you doing that he's doing differently? What is he doing that you're not doing? Take a look at that. How is he advancing so fast? In my company, we don't look at seniority. It's about performance. It's all performance-based. Who is the best fit for that next position? I'm looking for the guy that's going to excel more than anybody else. I'm looking for the guy that deals with the stress the best. I'm looking for the guy that asks for help when he needs help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Asking for help is a sign of strength. That shows that you want to learn. It shows that you want to get better. So ask for the help when you need it. Don't be scared. Ask for it. You have to ask for help. Those that just keep pushing through and keep going through, they're without asking for help are never going to make it. Well, I shouldn't say never. They might eventually get somewhere, but the ones that ask for help get the farthest. They get the knowledge. They get the information. How are you educating yourself in your job and with what you deal with? What are we doing to better educate ourselves when we deal with something that's stressful? Superintendents in our company, they talk to each other. One might be dealing with something on a job that someone else has already dealt with in the past. They call each other, hey, I'm dealing with this. Have you dealt with this? How have you dealt with this in the past? What have you done in this situation to make it easier for yourself? How did you get through this? And they talk about it and they learn from each other. That's how you move forward. That's a sign of strength, asking for help. I will always ask for help if I need help. I'm not in this journey alone. None of us are. There are so many resources out there to help us through these different situations. It's a lot of guys say, oh, I don't need a counselor. I don't need anybody to talk to. I can push through this. No, we do need people to talk to. You do need someone to talk to get through these situations. Don't be so hard-headed that you just got to figure it out on your own. You're banging your head against the wall. Stop it. Get out there. Ask for help. Talk about your problems. Talk about your issues. It's amazing how many other people have been through the same crap you've been through. You just don't know it because you're not talking about it. They've already been through it, so they don't need to talk about it. They know how to deal with it. But if you talk to them about it, they're going to help you. They're going to guide you. They've experienced it. So ask for help and educate yourself in these situations. When you're in a stressful situation, the best thing to do is look for knowledge. Find the information. Whatever you're struggling with in the workplace, you'd be amazed at what you can find online. Google it, YouTube it, find it somewhere. It is out there. It's, I used to be a part of a group, painting contractors associations in the past. I've been in multiple of them, and it's interesting how they help each other and how they guide each other, and they have their webinars and they have their conventions. It is a great thing to join. Find something within your industry. If you're a superintendent in a construction company, become friends with a superintendent in a different construction company or a different trade. Compare notes, compare different levels of what you deal with. I've got a friend, he owns an air conditioning company. We both started our companies within 6 months of each other. It's amazing. We used to play golf every week with each other and talk to each other about our businesses. And even though we were in two different industries, the amount of support and the amount of information we got from each other just talking about business was crucial. Talking to him about his business helped me grow mine, as well as me talking about mine helped him grow his. But we're in two different industries. But we were at the same level and growing together and were able to assist each other and just bounce ideas off of each other. It's the same in any position you're in. If you're an estimator for a painting company, talk to an estimator for a framing company. There's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of same things that you guys deal with, even though it's different industries. Find like-minded people that are going to help you grow in the business and grow in your journey and help educate yourself. Find these support groups. Find ways to network in the industry you're in. In our office, it's interesting how many times a guy will come in, hey, John, I'm looking at these blueprints and I found this product on here. I don't know what it is. Do you know what it is? I go, did you look it up online yet? Well, no, I just thought I'd come ask. Well, go look it up and bring the information back. Let's sit down and talk about it. So as guys have worked in the office long enough, they get to understand, oh, I better look this up. I'm not coming at John half-cocked. I'm going to make sure I got all the information and we're going to talk about it. Because obviously if it's a product we've never used before and there's a price difference or something new, we have to talk about it before we bid it. And they know that. So now they're looking up the information. Now we're talking about it. Now we have more information on our plate and we're able to deal with it in a better light. So be prepared. Inform yourself. Ask for help. Ask for the right help. Find the right resources to get the help from. Now, if you're working in a situation or within a company and you're constantly asking for help and you're being made fun of because, oh, you don't know that? Or, oh, you should have known that. A real painter would have known that. A real estimator, a real superintendent would have known that. Maybe that's not the best place for you. Somebody doing that, more than likely, they don't have the answer. They're trying to make you feel bad as if you don't know, because honestly, they probably don't know either. That negativity is never going to get you to the next level. Stay away from those people. Surround yourself with the people that are going to help you get to the next level and keep a positive attitude around you. Eventually, what's going to happen is you will now start to become a mentor for somebody else that's growing in the company or moving up. My goal in my company is to get everybody to my level. How can I do that? It's by mentoring to the next level down. We're constantly mentoring each other no matter what level we're in. You can learn something to do from everybody, no matter where you're at or what situation you're in. You can always learn from the worst painter in the world or the worst estimator in the world, the worst superintendent. You can learn what not to do. Be aware of everybody around you and what they're doing and what's happening. If I've got a painter and he's constantly making mistakes, I'm going to watch this and learn from it and what not to do as a painter. Now, as an owner of the company, I'm going to have some issues with that. But when you're out on a job site, the way I look at it is if I'm painting the room I'm sitting in right now and I make 10 mistakes in this room, but I fix all 10 of those mistakes before the owner comes in that's paying me to do this job and everything's perfect when he walks it, I look like the best painter in the world. That's all he needs to know. The fact that I fixed everything, that this job looks perfect. That's all that has to happen. So make it look perfect. Do what you have to do to fix everything. Guarantee you, as things move on and as you get better in your positions, better in your jobs, the stress levels will change. Make sure you handle with stress properly. Make sure you deal with the stressful situations in the right manner. Don't take it out on other people. Some people deal with stress and they get angry at others or they lash out. Don't be that guy. Don't be the guy that takes your stress out on the people around you. Don't be the girl that takes the stress out on your kids when you get home or your husband. You have to be aware of the people around you, the people that love you the most. They're going to stick with you. And you can't be lashing out on these people. They're there to help you. Find a way to discuss the situations at work if you need to take it home and talk about it. I have to be able to go home and talk to my wife and say, hey, I want to talk to you about this, but here's what I'm dealing with. Can you just listen to me? And I've done that before. Just listen to me. I just need to vent. I don't need any ideas or opinions. I just want to get this off my chest. And there's been other times where it's like, I don't say that, and I know I need to hear her opinion or her side or what she thinks should be done. Like I said, you don't have to agree with every opinion or what somebody says to you. And maybe just talking it out, you're going to hear something that you wouldn't have thought about. It's amazing what we can learn by bouncing ideas off of each other and how many other people out there have dealt with the exact same thing you're dealing with. It amazes me how many people in this life, in this world, have been in our same shoes. And you'd be surprised at how many other people out there have it worse than you. You know, if we all put our problems in a hat and we passed around and pulled out somebody else's problems, we'd look at that piece of paper that's written down on, saying, no, I think I want my problem back. This one's worse. Let's deal with what's in front of us. Let's deal with the stress, the issues, handle it properly. Don't go out there and drink. Don't go out there and use. I know with the demographic of a lot of the people that I help that I'm putting to work, that is a past. That is part of their nature. And it's not just that demographic. It's a major part of society. It's amazing how many people drink out there. You know, used to be an issue for me. I can't be a part of that. It's interesting how I look at people now. If I'm in a situation where they're drinking, I think, holy crap, they're stupid. The stuff that's being said, the way they act, I don't want to be around this. I can't stand this. I want to be around people that are sober. You know, it's some people can't function unless they're intoxicated or they're being controlled by a substance. I don't want to be that person. I want to be 100% in control of my thoughts, my actions, what I'm doing. I don't want to regret it later and say, oh man, I don't remember what I did. I want to know that I was in control. I want to know the people around me are in control, that we're in this for the right reasons. So don't take your stress levels out with an addictive personality. Be careful. If you do have an addictive personality, find something else to focus it on. Maybe it's going to the gym. Make that your new addiction. Maybe it's your job. Work more hours. You're going to make more money. It'll be worth it. Find a way to get rid of that stress. Ride a bike. Go do something. We have to find a way to make it work. If you can't, ask somebody for help. Ask other people. Find somebody else that has a hobby. And I don't care if you got to try 20 different hobbies to find the right thing that works for you. Find something that's going to fit for your personality and what you need to do to take care of yourself. We want you to be healthy. We want you to be secure in your job. Your stress, if it leads over into the home life or your home life stress leads over into work life, there's going to be chaos. And that's what we don't want to see happen. We want you to be successful. So in order to do this, find the right hobby, find the right situation, whatever the case may be. You have to look at your life and find what's going to best fit you. I know what best fits me. It's taken time to find it. It's taken years to find out what I like and what I don't like. You know, you will be able to find that too. And over the years, I've tried many different things. You don't know if you like something or not until you try it. So go out there and continue to try different things until you find the right hobby that's going to help you deal with the stress. You know, maybe it's going out in the desert and shooting guns off. You know, you find something to make it work. You find some activity. Maybe it's going to the driving range and hitting golf balls for a half hour or an hour. Maybe that gets it out. Maybe it's joining a boxing club, learning to box, taking that aggression out, that anger, that stress. You find something to make it work. So as you're going through your day-to-day and you're dealing with your stress levels and you're dealing with what you need, remember that if you can't deal with it, you can hurt the ones that are closest to you. That's what we don't want to see. Take care of your loved ones. Take care of the people that are closest to you. Talk to them about your issues. Talk to them about the stress level and the problems you're dealing with. It's okay. It is not a sign of weakness. It is one of the biggest signs of strength that you can imagine. And the people that are closest to you that see this change in you and they see how you react and how you deal with these situations, they're going to respect you more. They're going to love you more. They're going to understand you more. That's how you have to look at this. So go about your day, start dealing with stress differently. Maybe it's listening to this podcast is what helps you deal with the stress. Just listening to me talk about the different issues, the different problems, the different things that you have to deal with. You know, there's other podcasts that I listen to. There's certain things, Motivation Daily I listen to. There's a couple that I've got to listen. There's 10, 15-minute ones, just enough time while I'm driving somewhere to get me back in the right mindset. That's what I need sometimes. I need that motivation to keep me going. I need that motivation to get me out of my funk sometimes. And maybe it's just listening to music. Maybe it's driving down the road, listen to the radio, or there's a certain song that just gets you back in the right mindset or gets you back on track where you need to be or relieves all that stress. Find that song. Find that thing that's going to make you happy. Find that thing that's going to take that load off your shoulders, that weight off your shoulders. You can make it. You can do it. Because the last thing we need to do is go back to our addictive personality, our addictive nature, or hurt the people closest to us. And maybe you're someone out there that doesn't have an addiction or addictive personality, but there's other things you deal with. find a way to deal with them. Find a way to handle those situations. Be a man, be a woman, handle it in the best of your ability. You know, it's for you guys and gals out there that struggle with this, there are hotlines to get help. There are places to get help. There are people that do care about you, that want the best for you. You have to research it, find the right place. If you don't know, ask a family member, ask somebody that's going to guide you in the right direction. You know, hopefully your stress levels, your issues you're dealing with don't push you to the extreme. Get help before it's too late to get help. And if you feel like you're about to hit that rock bottom, find a way to pull yourself up. If it is an addiction, get to a meeting if that's what you need. Talk to a friend. Talk to somebody that's going to guide you the right way. Talk to somebody that's going to help you. It's interesting over the years how many people have been through my classes, and from the demographic we deal with. You know, the very first year that we started these classes, I know 25 people that went through my classes that are dead today because they went back to the streets, they went back to the drugs. And that's difficult to deal with for some people. But out of those 25 people, it could have been different if they asked for help. All they needed to do was reach out to somebody. So reach out to somebody today, ask for help, get the help you need. There's places for you out there. If you don't know where to reach out to us, and we'll guide you to the right place. We'll help you get the help that you need. So as you're dealing with your stress levels today, think about this. Think about where you can go for help. Think about how we need to deal with it to better help ourselves through our day-to-day obligations. Once again, thank you for listening. Stay hungry.